Hello, everyone. Um, I was wondering if any of you knew anything about um, unrestricted land and some good areas to live in. I'm really wanting to do uh, basically. I want to do some. I want to be self sufficient and have a small farm or be self sufficient on some land, on unrestricted land. I want to be able to build whatever I want to build without a lot of harassment from government. So if you know an area that's good like that, like I've read that Arizona is an amazing place like that, where they kind of the government isn't climbing down your throat for everything. My wife and me have been wanting to do basically like an off grid type thing, unrestricted small farm. We want to have a well dug. We want water rights and a septic system. We've been talking about building like uh, a shipping container type home. Even we've been even talking about doing an earth ship or a combination of both. I follow these people too online, and they do through Instagram, and they have like tree homes, tree houses, and I'm kind of a dork. I still like stuff like that. I'm like, oh my god, it's so beautiful, and I love trees too. And I know Arizona has got trees, but like I'm in love with the Northwest a lot, and I still love the desert. I kind of like both. I kind of love both, but um, and I don't know if anybody knows of like small farms where I could build on their unrestricted land, where I could build on there that's not going to cost me an arm and a leg, and then like I said, be able to be self sufficient. Having chickens and collect rainwater and for your grows. Excuse me. So like I was thinking about doing like a greenhouse, building a greenhouse, doing all that kind of stuff, and um, uh, something that's not going to be super super high priced. I've looked around the country, and back east, man, I have to say, besides Arizona up here, um, is so much cheaper back there. Back east is just their homes are freaking gorgeous. Like when I say back east, I mean all the way down into Texas too. Texas is like freaking absolutely beautiful down there. Um, I want to be in a more of a pro gun state and more of a conservative area, I guess. But when I say that, I mean Arizona, they allow people to grow weed, but they also are pro gun, and pro constitution type thing and place. So I'm more apt to want to go there, obviously, than going to Oregon or Washington. Oregon and Washington have kind of changed. Like they're I mean they've always been kind of liberal, but now they're kind of like really really far left, and it's too much, for me to want to go up there and try to even begin to try to. And that's an unfortunate thing because it's so gorgeous up there. It's just like that. To me, it would be my dream state, like Oregon and Washington. I was born in Washington, and um, I loved walking through the forests. Like you just walk through, and they got all these paths where people walked or hiked or bike rode, whatever they did, or you follow animal trails or whatever. And man, it was just so freaking gorgeous. Oregon and Washington, you go out to the ocean, to the beaches, and I've never found any place more beautiful than those two areas. And but with a lot of the craziness that's going on there anymore, I can't bring myself to move there. I really wanted to go to Dune City, Oregon. That was like one of my dreams, was to go down there and drive truck, drive a mixer truck or something like that, and just but there's no place for that. There's no place for me to buy unrestricted land and so on and so forth. But anyway, back to the story. Looking into like Arizona, I've found like super amazing deals down there. Like it's crazy cheap land, and the restrictions are extreme. There hardly is any. Like Arizona's the place, man. But before I made a huge jump, because we're talking about moving, down into a place like that, and we want to build something that's absolutely amazing down there. So um, I have all these dreams of ideas of how I want to build a home, and if I can't build it because the government regulates everything, then there's no point in moving to that place, obviously, right? So and I don't know, I don't know all the details with Arizona yet, but I love the desert. I'm a huge desert fan. Like, man, I live in Wyoming out here southwest, and it's, yeah, you can, like, I literally can go right across the street and go into the desert, and just I can go run. I can take my truck and just drive through the desert, and no one, government isn't climbing up you, to get you in trouble because you went through somebody's yard. And I hear that kind of crap from Texans. They're like, man, like you can't just drive off the road and go somewhere too often, or in certain places, and I'm like, man, that just sucks, And I don't know if that's how it is everywhere, like, because I know Wyoming isn't like that, like you just go everywhere, They're like public land, and it is awesome, And there's certain areas that you can't go. I mean, you'll obviously there's certain places that they don't allow people to go because of whatever reasons, mainly because Bigfoot is hiding there and they're studying him. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I really, I really think it'd be cool, man, to live off the land to a degree. Like I said, just being able to being sufficient. Having a farm is sufficient. Being sufficient with a farm would be awesome, and having growing what you need to grow. But I don't want a huge farm. I want a small farm, obviously, and I like my wife's dad has a small farm, and I love how he's like 5-10 miles out of town, and his place is amazing. It's perfect. The only thing that's not perfect is the job market down there. The job market, it's like $15 an hour, and you might make $20 an hour if you're in the right place. But in order to work down there, I'd have to drive like 100 miles one way just to make a decent wage. And in a lot of places down there that 100 miles away is still, that job market is like 17 to maybe $22 an hour, and so it's not much better. But in right here, I'm making 27. But there's no I can't get any unrestricted land out here. It doesn't seem, in Wyoming here. So if I could find some unrestricted land and build what I want to build out here, I would stay in a heartbeat, But I'm looking for something different like that. So if anybody knows of anything, knows little facts or knows little details about, small farms, or how possibly I got to build my credit up a little bit to get a first time home buyers, but there's like the unrestricted land, and there's all the like unrestricted land. I can't get it for some home buyers unless it's got a home on it, and it's set up like a home. Like, it can't be like, like a camper on blocks. They won't allow that. So and so and as far as getting the unrestricted land, I was hoping that a farm is the same thing. I'm not really sure. I was wondering if anybody knew about that, because if that's the case, then I might as well just get a small farm, because the unrestricted land, I mean, when you go to buy an unrestricted land, you got to start over. You got to get a well dug, and you got to have, a septic system done, and you got to find out all these different rules. But if a farm is already, already there and everything's already there, and you don't have to dig a well, you don't have to do all that, then you're really close to what you need to do. So um, if you know of like, let's say you live in Kentucky, or you live in Texas, or you live wherever, please comment and tell me what it's like down there, and the good and the bad of having a small farm down in those areas. Tennessee, um, Mississippi, anything. I really don't know much about that corner of the world. So if you could kind of tell me what it's like down there. I mean, I love the idea of hunting hogs and um, growing my own food. I mean, all that stuff is great. And if you could tell me about, what truck drivers make, like a cement mixer driver would make, things like that. An experienced one, not one that's not experienced, but uh, I would really appreciate it if you could let me know what your world looks like and how it is, and um, any details that you might know. And y'all have a good night and take care of yourselves. And thanks ahead of time before. So if I don't get back to you on time, I apologize. But y'all have a good day. Good night too.